Good morning, everybody. It's another beautiful day for a wedding, and we've upgraded our vehicle. I'm so happy with it. Everything fits in so much easier with this vehicle. So what I'm going to do is go ahead and start off with a nice coffee run, get that going for me personally, and then we're going to kick off this day and start decorating for a beautiful wedding. Okay, so first thing we do when we come out to this venue is I'm just going to stop in and write our bridal party's name.
All right, so it's 9 in the morning. We've just entered into the venue, and the first thing I'm going to do is try to get all the tablecloths on the tables. It's always a good feeling to have the tablescape done because it takes the longest. The second we're going to do is put the crushed velvet runners on top of the tables and get them organized for the florals. Once the florals arrive, I won't have to worry about having to get anything prepped for them. In the middle of doing this, the hairdressers and the makeup artist showed up, so I went ahead and let them know where they were going to be setting up before the girls arrived and went back downstairs and got back to business. Now I'm going to go ahead and place the charger plates on the tables. It's 8-person to a table, and on each table I'm going to make sure that I lay the plates in the same order. That way everything looks nice and symmetrical, and the more symmetrical you get, the better it looks. Here is Mom. She's helping look at everything, and she's going to help put together some of her items in the car while I'm finishing up some of the items in the kitchen. At this point, I know the florals are getting ready to arrive, and I need to go ahead and get this arbor set up so they can place everything onto it. So now I'm going to go ahead and take the cake materials over to the cake area. A pro tip, you're going to want to go ahead and put some extra napkins over there for when you cut your cake. Your hands are going to get dirty. And also a couple of dessert plates and silverware for you. I'm not going to do that just yet, but that's something to prepare for your cake cutting moments, which most people often forget about. So I'm going to go ahead and move over to start setting up the small things. Our gift card box, the O Snap box. I'm going to find out what the snap is going to be for the hashtag and set up our welcoming signs. These are quick and easy projects that don't take as much time as tablescape. So once I get most of the tablescape ready for the florals, I go ahead and get these little items done. Here are our beautiful ladies who are working on the floral designs right now. They did a lovely job. Now that I am not in the way for the florals to be placed, I'm going to go ahead and start putting all of the napkins on each table. This does take a lot more time than what you realize, so that's why we begin working on this first. Each table needs to be exactly perfect and symmetrical, so we start by putting down the napkins, and then I'm going to go one by one and put down the silverware items into the correct. Now it's time to go ahead and set up the backdrop. This bride and groom chose to do something pretty simple. We're just going to use our curtain stand and put the twinkling lights up behind them. With the stand, we're going to drape it with some sheer black drapery to match with the theme and also hide the curtain stand. It looked really beautiful, and one of the things that's nice is the photographer is able to talk to us about how the blinking lights might ruin some of the photos, and so she gave us some tips on what she would like it to look like so that her video and her photos look perfect for them. I'm over here prepping for the sparkler send-off. First, I'm just going to go ahead and get the sparklers ready and pull out my candle lighter because most definitely everybody always forgets to bring that one thing.
I say this all the time, but having our wedding emergency kit is so helpful because we think of the things that people forget, and one of those things for sparkler send-offs is a lighter. So I have this on standby because it looks like we don't have a lighter, but we have everything ready. I'm not going to put the sparklers outside yet. After all the dances have happened, that's when I'm going to move the sparklers outside because of kids and stuff. And obviously I will hold on to this in my handy dandy dress pocket closer to time so that no one gets a hold of this other than an adult. So anyways, that's one of the things that I really love having. I'll show you more of the things that we have in here, but for now, it's kind of my little home over here. I have extra tablecloths just in case more people show up. Extra things in my car just to be sure we don't want to be out of items. And my Bluetooth speakers are charging because there's going to be some vendors who are arriving in the middle of some of the dances, and I want to make sure that I can hear my phone ring even if I am in a loud spot to be able to assist them. So here's how it looks. What I'm going to do now, we're pretty much ready with the exception of getting a extension cord over here and getting an extension cord over here. And once I get those done, I'm going to get all the lights going in here for the videographer and the photographer because they are officially here and it's ready to get started. I think think we've got our extension cord right now, so I'm gonna go pick that up.
Okay, so at this point, I'm going to go ahead and look over every single detail from this setup. It's actually the most detailed setup of your whole entire wedding, so I want to make sure I did not miss any details. During this wedding, some of the bridal party is actually across seas, and so we're going to be projecting their speeches onto the wall and checking on the sound and everything soon. As you can see, I have placed their silverware, their napkins, and their plates for their cake cutting over there. And now I'm going to go check on our bartending because they've officially arrived. Usually they don't need much help from us, but we're going to make sure that if they do need anything, we're right there to answer any questions. I'm also checking in with the DJ. He's setting up too and plugging in the light systems that were rented from us to match the light systems that they brought as well. The florals are all set and ready to go. The girls did a beautiful job. So here's just a sneak peek of what I am up to while you girls are upstairs getting ready and the gentlemen are in their room hanging out and having some fun. We're just checking out the details of the floral arrangements and chatting with the photographer and videographer about what they need to make their shots and their moments happen with the space that we've created. Here's a sneak peek of Savannah hiding behind the dress to have it flared open for a photo. Those are just one of the fun things that you don't see vendors doing to make sure you have a perfect.
Okay, so we've officially made it to what I always call the eye of the hurricane, where I'm completely caught up. My vendors are all here. They're getting set up. There's nothing left for me to do except for being helpful and look for little things to be continued, to be completed before the end of the day. And it looks like right now, we are perfectly on task. All the vendors are here. They've arrived perfectly on task. So always makes a huge improvement for your wedding coordinator when you pick awesome vendors.
So here is the entryway setup. One of the things that I am doing is making sure that their Polaroid camera actually is working, and one of the things that was wrong is it needed some extra batteries and the film that was in it was broken, but I went ahead and started it off. I also happen to have these glue dots in my emergency kit because that is something that people do tend to forget, is to bring glue dots. And now I'm upstairs to see all the beautiful moments behind the scenes. This one right here, the bride is just getting her shots. Now they are not doing a before look, so I'm also monitoring the boys to make sure that they don't happen to walk across the stairs, especially since this is an open area. I don't want them to see this, but Mom is getting her photos, buttoning up the dress with beautiful lighting and videographer going, and they are going to continue doing all of these shots with the first looks of dads and sneaking over. So doing all of this coordination, we're kind of working together to make sure that everyone has what they're needing. We also do this when it comes to the first looks with the groom, but on this circumstance, I was just watching out for the groom to make sure they stayed put where they needed to be. And also, the DJ was hollering for me to go downstairs a few times during these moments to help with certain setups for him or answer any questions he had about the wedding coming up. So I'm in a great spot to be able to be in communication with everybody and also be a lookout for the groom. But these are some of my favorite moments with the weddings, is seeing all of the first looks. So now that the girls are officially tucked away, the guys are getting their photos taken at the bottom, and it's a beautiful day. I was looking at the count of our chairs, a little concerned that we might need to add more, so I already had a backup plan ready to go. So it's about time for the ceremony to start, but the guys are getting their last photos taken. I'm over here watching out for them,
I want there to be more tables.
The gentlemen are going to be going upstairs while the groom stays downstairs for their entrance. I did notice that we needed more chairs right away, so the bartending staff actually assisted me by helping me get some of these chairs out without making so much of a scene. And with some of the family being across seas, I was actually doing a live video stream while coordinating, so I was a little bit stressed out to make sure I could do both at the same time without being distracting. But once it got started, you can see me holding on to the phone, giving directions for the family members on when they go, and then making sure I fixed the train of the bride right as she was walking down the aisle.
That was so stressful. I didn't know.
I tell you what, that was one of the more stressful moments for me, was trying to make sure we had enough chairs at this time because more people had showed up than anticipated. However, I did expect to have that with my materials I brought, so I wasn't really worried about having to make extra tables if needed because my gut told me earlier I was going to need it. But
making sure I could do a wonderful live video for the family across seas while also directing the family members to go down the aisle and fixing the bride's train was a little bit of a feat for me, but I was so excited we got it done as a team. After the ceremony's done and the family has gone back to the room, I'm opening up for the reception, and we kind of push some of the tables out, especially if there's more guests. We do have more tables to push out, but this was a little bit of a smaller ceremony and reception. So while everybody is enjoying their cocktail hour, I'm just kind of walking around to make sure that there's nothing that I need to do. After I realize everyone has found a good spot, which I did assist helping with, one of my key tips is if you are going to be expecting the exact amount of people and you only put the exact amount of chairs out for your guest count, it is nice to have a seating chart because some people want to sit together. So I was trying to help organize where they could sit to help them have an idea on how to be comfortable and enjoy the rest of the reception. After I got that sorted, I checked on the family. Everyone's doing a great job. So after checking on the family to be sure that everybody is where they need to be directed, I've cleaned up some trash I found from the Polaroids, take out some butter and other items for the catering, check on them upstairs to make sure everyone's doing great, that they don't need my assistance, and we also have a vendor arriving at 6 o'clock during that time frame, so I'm letting them know exactly where they were hoping to set up and letting them know that I'm the person to get in contact with if they have any issues or whenever they're trying to leave. So I encourage you all, just get your post-ceremony photos. I promise you, once these come out, they're going to be one of the most gorgeous photos ever. The lighting is just perfect after ceremonies, and all the stress is gone, so you can get some really, really beautiful photos. And I'm going to go inside and wait for the photographer and the videographer to let me know that they are all done. The bride and groom will be over in a section. I'm going to wait for them, and here they are now. So now the DJ is going to announce them in after we've all communicated that we're ready.
It's time to welcome them in. Again, folks, I need for you all to get up on your feet. Make as much noise as possible. Give it up for the new Mr. and Mrs. Chatterton. Here we go. Here we go.
Now that Mr. and Mrs. Chatterton are officially in the building, I'm going to go around, make sure that everybody is ready and everyone has their place to be sat at, and just make sure to let the bridal party know that they are going to be getting their food first. The DJ is doing an icebreaker, and during this point in time, I told them to grab their food. That way they can start enjoying it and actually have time to have fun with the crowd and enjoy their food. And now I'm grabbing some food and I realized we're getting low on pasta, but good thing I've already chatted with the catering company and they're on their way. They knew that we would get low, so they were about 5 minutes out, and I've already taken care of that problem before it became a problem. Perfectly on task, we have our speeches. This speech is going to be a little bit different. We're going to have the bridesmaid speak, and then we're going to have Elliot speak, and then we're going to have a projector system. Earlier on during the day, the boys had shown me the videos, and I actually edited it to make it a little bit bigger on the wall. I'm over here by the lights, ready to turn it on, and we are ready for the speeches from across the sea. During this speech, I did sneak over behind the table and turned off both of these lights to make sure that they would have great lighting to see everybody, and then afterwards I did sneak back and I plugged them back in to have that wonderful lighting. We're always going to be there right beside you during your first cake cutting because sometimes there's some questions on how it goes, and we're right there to answer it for you. Don't worry, you're not going to be on your own. So we help assist with how do you cut the cake if they have any questions and help it go smoothly and easily. And now look at this. It's the most beautiful part, their first dance. I absolutely love the first dances. So precious. Sometimes our brides and grooms do not share their cake and they have cupcakes instead. Can you believe I managed to carry this 2-tier cake safely across that room? Oh my gosh, I was so happy I did it. But we always do remove those cakes out of the way so nobody accidentally takes a piece if you weren't wanting to share it. So now that the party has officially started, you see me doing my small, tiny cleanups. I'm going to start dumping out all of the disposables and the charger plates. I'm going to put them aside. And honestly, a lot of the charger plates did get some dirt and food on it, so I am going to rinse all of them off in the kitchen before I pack them away to ensure there's no damages. Tablecloths will not be removed until we are leaving, but clearing the tables are the last thing that we do to make sure we can clean any stains. We're outside right now with the videographer and the photographer to try to coordinate how we are going to do these sparkly
sparklers with the wind being crazy, and we worked together as a team to get everybody organized, lined up, and we're going to pass out 2 sparklers per person so they can light a second one if needed. And a pro tip, when you light the sparkler, start off with 1 sparkler and then you connect the sparklers with your friends. And oh my gosh, where'd this dog come from? We have no idea. So I'm going to shoo that dog out of the venue and let the couple know that we are ready for them to start their entrance with the sparklers. Everyone say hi to our favorite bartender. He's upstairs getting a great video of this moment as well. But one of the things that you can do is make a note saying sparkle our night at 9 p.m. That way people don't feel like they have to leave if you put send off, because most generally the send offs are mock send offs because we don't want to lose the amount of people to make it feel really full. So you do it once the light gets perfect for the photographer and the videographer. But one of my suggestions is to, instead of saying a grand exit, make a cute phrase and a time frame so people know that there is going to be a grand finale for anyone who does want to leave early, but not rushing people out, and you can still enjoy your night until 11 when the venues are typically closing. Now that all of the main events are done, I'm going to go ahead and start getting some of these remainder items placed off of the tables and put away. Some of these items actually belong to our clients, so I'm putting them away for them in their tub while organizing our items as well to place back into my vehicle. So I usually have a little hidden spot with all of these things, and I'm over here with the bartenders, so I'm placing the items into her tub, placing items into my tub, going back out, seeing what I can do to make sure everything is on task, while also having fun with our bride and groom. Honestly, after it's all said and done, these are one of my favorite moments. It's the moments where you have the tightest group, all of your friends celebrating you without a time constraint, and you just have so much fun. The DJ is also getting it down too. He loves it as well. We can hand off the microphone and it becomes a karaoke night. It's whatever's going to make you just so happy and enjoy that night and have great memories. We did have a fall, so one of the things in my emergency kit is some Band-Aids, some gauze, some Tylenol. So my emergency kit's kind of spread all over the place over there, but I did take care of that, and luckily we had a nurse on staff from the bridal party to take a look at the fall and make sure everyone was okay. This is a really simple setup, but it is one of the more time-consuming setups as well because we have to make sure each light strand is folded up correctly and Velcroed together to prevent any tangling. After that's done, it looks pretty quick on here, but it did take me quite a bit of time. It's a lot quicker once I get those folded up. But I was working on this while we were getting all of the tablecloths taken care of because it's right at the end of the night and we don't want to have any damaged deposits from the venue for cleaning. Here is what it looks like with the exception of the DJ packing up the rest of his things. I'm checking in with the venue owner and getting the okay that we're clear to go. I try to condense these videos down so much so that it's not overwhelming seeing all the things that we do. I sometimes end up missing some of the fun facts, but thank you so much for watching our behind the scenes of our wedding coordination. This was our day of wedding coordination. They had already booked all of their vendors. They just needed someone like me to keep an eye on everything to make sure that there was the tea being refilled, waters and drinks being refilled, everything being cleaned up without having to worry about it. Give me a call if I can help you.